All right, guys. So today we're going to branch out just a little bit to talk about a type of tech that I'm actually really interested in. And that's because it's a tech that I can kind of see the future heading in, which is smart AR glasses. And the pair that we're going to check out today, which is the Inmo Air 3, is actually being labeled as the world's first all-in-one using waveguide technology. So it's not one of those pair of glasses that needs to be plugged into your phone or plugged into something else to be able to actually work. Like, everything is contained inside the glasses themselves, which that in itself intrigues me because that's what I want. I want to be able to put on a pair of glasses, have access to everything, be able to just watch media wherever I'm at, and just have that convenience, not have to pull out my phone or not have to hook up to my phone to be able to do those things. Now, this is a product that initially was a Kickstarter funded project. It definitely fully funded. It had an early bird price that went pretty quickly, but now it's available on Amazon. You can actually pick it up for $1,099, so that's definitely not cheap. But if this is a device that can do a lot of the things or everything that your phone can do and just slap it on your face, it could be worth it, which is what intrigued me. I've had it now for about the last month, and I think that I've had enough time in these to really give a good opinion on these. So I'm going to talk about a lot of the specs, a lot of the things that these glasses can do, so you can kind of get an idea of basically the sales pitch from the company, so you can see what it says that they do. But then I want to talk about kind of what the experience itself was. So from a size and a design standpoint, they did point out that these glasses are fashionable. They are very comparable to just like wearing a normal pair of glasses. And I'll kind of let you be the judge of that. But I guess really, in my opinion, this still does not look like a normal pair of glasses. But honestly, it's not. There's a lot of things crammed into here, and I don't really know how much you can make a pair of glasses with this type of technology look like a normal pair of glasses. So, kind of keep that in mind. But obviously, looks are all subjective, so it may be completely fine for a lot of people. But they are a little bit bigger than just obviously a normal pair of glasses. But what they are doing is it has a Snapdragon XR processor. It's an 8-core processor built into here. That's what allows you to have everything just already in the glasses themselves. And it's essentially like having an Android 14 tablet right in front of your face. And it's made to look like a 150-inch screen. They are using Sony micro OLED technology, but the waveform technology, and you can kind of see it if you look in the lenses a little bit, you can see these little lines. The way that it's doing it is it's kind of projecting it into those waves, and that's what is allowing that image to be in front of your eyes to be able to see. But nobody else around you can see this. So obviously it's very convenient to have these and be able to work in an environment and just know that somebody's not seeing information like if you were on a laptop. Now, these also have 8 gigs of RAM and comes with 128 gigabytes of storage. So the 8 gigabytes of RAM I found is very suitable for just running these and not bogging down. I was able to do multiple things and not have it slow these things down. The only time I felt like it really slowed down was the initial setup whenever it's downloading all of the apps, which you do have access to Inmo's own store, but you also have access to the Google Play Store. And that's where it was just uploading everything as though I was connecting to a phone. So that initial setup did kind of cause it to bog down or seem kind of laggy, but it just had a lot going on. And then the 128 gigabytes of storage, it's going to be really hard to kind of load this down. But I am going to say this, these do also have a camera located right on the front with a 120-degree wide angle lens, and it can shoot in horizontal and landscapes. You can take photos, you can take videos, and that is going to be what I think is going to eat up the most amount of your storage. So kind of keep that in mind. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say it's fine if you want to just show people what it is you're looking at or what it is you're doing, but this isn't going to be a camera that's comparable to cell phones. I just don't think it's anywhere near as good as the modern cell phones. Definitely feels like a camera that was on a phone probably 10 years ago. I think that's probably the best way to describe it. But again, if that's not your main purpose, that's not going to be a huge concern. Now, going back to the display and the lenses and what you're seeing, it does come in with 600 nits brightness, which I feel like indoors, I never had any issue seeing anything unless I was looking at my computer screen where it's bright, and it kind of causes it where you can't really see what's on the glasses. So most of the time I felt like I needed to look over at a wall or at the ceiling or just anywhere where I'm not looking into direct light. like a display or just a light in a room. But for using them outdoors, you are going to want to use the included shade that they give you. It's basically trying to turn these into sunglasses, but it's also keeping the light from things from affecting the display. So I actually kind of found that I used the shade a lot inside the house, especially if I was in my office with my computer screen as big as it is in front of me. So this allowed me to kind of use the glasses and not feel like the display is getting lost in the light behind it. Now, some other things that they include in the box other than the shades themselves, you do get a pretty interesting hard case. It can also kind of break down to be flat where it's easy to pack into a bag while you're not using them. And then it kind of pops up and gives you enough room to house the glasses. You can also house the touchpad control that they've also included. Now, some things advertise the ring control. It is not something that's available on Amazon. In fact, it is something that they stopped including with the purchase of the glasses. And honestly, this doesn't bother me too bad because I did find that the way that I most of the time decided to use these was with this little handheld touchpad anyway, because it gives you physical buttons. It gives you basically like a trackpad. There's some other buttons up here, even one to just open up the camera right away. And then also the glasses themselves have a trackpad that's located on the side. So you can actually navigate a lot of the things on the glasses just by using that touchpad. But again, most of the time I still found myself reaching for the one, that you can just hold in your hand. There's also physical buttons for the power and the volume control. And then speaking of the volume, I will say the speakers on here, there's two that's normally located like on any other smart glasses that I've tested. And the sound on them are just kind of tinny. It's not like a full sound. There's not really a whole lot of bass in these. And I know that's not going to normally be the case in something like this, but I have tested some glasses that definitely have better sound, or at least a more fuller sound. So I do want to say when I'm watching movies or gaming on these, I found myself reaching for like my Bose Bluetooth headphones to just pair them that way. That is definitely a much better experience. And speaking of Bluetooth, that's another thing that you can do with these glasses. You can Bluetooth just like an Xbox controller. Then you can play like the Xbox Game Pass just directly on the glasses themselves. And that is what I fell in love with. Being able to game on these, being able to watch movies, TV shows, or sporting events, or whatever. That was my main use case scenario. I'm not somebody that I'm going to think that I'm going to do a lot of browsing within the glasses. I don't want to respond to notifications because that is definitely much easier to do on your phone. If you want to be able to respond quickly or type quickly, that's not something the glasses can really do unless you Bluetooth a keyboard to the glasses. But then that kind of eliminates the portability. Now, if you're going to be sitting on an airplane or sitting in the living room at the couch and you want to Bluetooth the keyboard and then just be able to respond to emails, be able to type quicker, I would recommend using it that way. I just, again, fell in love with using these strictly as a media consumption device. But I'm going to say that the battery life is very short, especially if you're going to be doing things pretty consistently, because I kind of noticed that I only get about an hour and a half to maybe 2 hours of battery life. But it does only take an hour to fully charge these, and you can get it above 50% just by charging them about 30 minutes. So that part's convenient. But from a media consumption device, it's something that only lasts 2 hours. A lot of movies that I watch are over 2 hours long, so I can't get through a full movie. And from a gaming session, you're not going to get long-term gaming just relying on the battery itself. So keep in mind, you are going to want to be plugged in, and that kind of goes back to having a device that's now plugged into something. It kind of feels like you're tethered to something, and that's just honestly not what I want. But the experience overall, the screen is very clear. It's very clean looking. It's definitely vibrant. Everything pops. It really just feels like an overlay of Android 14 over everything that you're looking at. Now, I don't see this as a, everyday pair of glasses. I don't think this is convincing that, you just have a normal pair of glasses on. And a lot of people that maybe care about looks or people looking at you, I think these are going to draw quite a bit of attention. I don't think it really just looks like you have really bad eyes and you need some specialty glasses because your vision is just a little screwed up. I think it definitely looks a little bit more than that. But in comparison to other AR smart glasses or some other ones that I've tested, it kind of does look maybe a little closer to a normal pair of glasses, but again, not completely. but I absolutely love the technology. I think Inmo has done an incredible job here. I think over $1,000 for something that's just strictly for media, at least in my case, is going to be hard for some people to kind of pull out their wallets for that. But if you are somebody that is constantly on the go and you don't want to always have a laptop and you want to just tether the connection to your phone so that you can do things in a more private environment, or if you just want to enjoy a movie or gaming like on a plane and again just kind of have it to yourself, it's going to be hard to beat these because you don't want to carry around a lot of stuff, and the self-containment is definitely the way that I hope technology goes. And I am very happy with being able to test these. Again, I wouldn't use the camera because of the quality for most things. So I see it as the glasses are definitely capable of doing a lot of things, but it doesn't mean it's the best at doing all of those things. So like you can listen to stuff, but the sound quality is not going to be as good as a pair of headphones or earbuds. You can take pictures or video, but it's not going to be as good as using your cell phone or, a point and shoot camera or any camera that you already have. And the display, now this is the part that I think is the big selling point, looks incredible. It's obviously not going to be 4K, but they have not reached that point yet, especially on something that's self-contained. The display looks great. The quality of the image looks great. The technology is definitely there. And I think Inmo did a great job at trying to make a normal looking pair of glasses, but they're not. So yeah, I actually recommend them if you're somebody that is into kind of like early adopting technology. If you're just interested and you want to show that there's interest in these type of displays or these type of glasses and you want the technology to, continue to grow, you kind of have to support companies that are taking a chance and doing these things first. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Inmo Air 3 smart AR glasses. Again, I love the technology. If you are interested in checking these out, like I said, they are now on Amazon, which I will have linked in the description. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.